A new skyscraper will soon take over the title of tallest building in the U.S. Within the next few years, the new record holder will be known as Legends Tower in Oklahoma City. Its city council just approved a zoning proposal that removes height restrictions in their downtown. The proposed skyscraper will be part of a 4-tower complex known as the Boardwalk at Brickton. Legends Tower, the tallest of the structures, will stand just over 1,900 feet. That's about 200 feet taller than the current record holder, which is One World Trade Center in Manhattan, which stands at more than 1,700 feet. Legends Tower would claim its record for the 6th tallest building in the entire world. So joining me now is Mark Houser, writer and researcher with highrisescollection.com, also author of multi-stories tracing the history of some of the best known skyscrapers. Mark, thank you so much for your time. This is pretty amazing. So the developer of this, Office AO, says the city approved this request for it to be built at unlimited height. So right now it's set for more than 1,900 feet, but does that mean this building could be even taller?
Well, thanks for having me on the show, Nichole, and that's a great question. But my suspicion is that it won't be any taller because 1907 is a very symbolic number. Just like the World Trade Center in New York, One World Trade is 1,776 feet tall, which is an important number. 1907 is the year that Oklahoma became a state.
So I want to talk about the significance of this building going up in Oklahoma City. Why there instead of, say, a major American city?
Well, that's a great question, too. And frankly, I mean, New York and Chicago have been the home of the tallest skyscraper in America for more than a century. But there's no law that says that they have to be. And Oklahoma, frankly, has a pretty fascinating history with skyscrapers. So Oklahoma has one of only 2 Frank Lloyd Wright skyscrapers, and Tulsa has the tallest skyscraper hospital ever built. It was built by Oral Roberts, the televangelist, who said that God told him to build it. It still exists. It's an office tower. It didn't last very long as a hospital. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So just talk about this building itself and some of the features that are going to make it unique.
Well, it's got, as I understand it, a swimming pool, an observation deck, and so forth on the top. But one of the things about it that we're seeing more and more with skyscrapers nowadays is that it's primarily residential. It's hotel, but mostly apartments, luxury penthouses, and so forth. Because with post-pandemic, there's a lower demand for office space. So skyscrapers are making a transformation in cities across the country from office space to residential space. People want to have those views from high up in the sky, whether they're looking at the New York skyline or the Great Plains of Oklahoma.
And Mark, I have to ask you, after the pandemic, post-pandemic, so many cities and their downtowns are really struggling. So is this a way to try to turn things around, or is there a way to help?
Well, that's a great question again. And I think skyscrapers are being seen as one way of appealing to people in cities, or to get people to want to come to cities. I mean, not only new skyscrapers, but my specialty, the work that I've been doing recently with an artist named Chris Heitha, is the High Rises collection, which is looking at antique and landmark Art Deco skyscrapers. And many of them are being converted nowadays into residential. And that's a way to draw more people into cities to take these buildings with great character. And so you can see 200 skyscrapers, classics from coast to coast, including many in Oklahoma, on our website, which is highrisescollection.com.
And Mark, we mentioned at the top of this, not only highrisescollection.com, you're the author of a book, you're an expert on people behind America's landmark skyscrapers. What do they have in common? What is their motivation?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know very much about Scott Madison, who is the developer behind this Legends Tower, but I do know this, that when people build a skyscraper, they expect it to make money. So there's got to be some kind of plan that at least makes sense at the time. They don't always work out. I mean, I mentioned Oral Roberts' skyscraper hospital in Tulsa didn't work out. But the idea of a skyscraper is a machine to make the land pay. So you're making an investment expecting that people will lease space in it. And so I must assume that Mr. Madison thinks that he has a market of willing people who want to have apartments in the sky in Oklahoma City. And also, it's a nice way to leave a legacy, isn't it, to have something like that? But we'll see if it gets built. It's still some years down the road.
All right. Well, expert on America's skyscrapers, Mark Houser, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.